Okay, so you saw in the opening the picture of the design you are making today. So let's get started. So in our box, we're going to have our wood blank pieces. You have these two little L-shaped gadgets, and this is going to go together to make your easel that your palm tree sunset can sit on. You'll have 6 different colors of paint. You have black, yellow, white, red, orange, and blue. You have a couple of painting sponges and a wedge. The white wedge will be used to paint your palm trees. And then you have a bottle of wood glue. All right, so we're just gonna pull everything out of our box. Now you might want to get a paper plate. I think a paper plate will be best for putting our paint colors on. So I want you to grab a paper plate, and we are going to take, and we're gonna dump our paint out just like this on our paper plate. All right, we don't need a lot of black. We're gonna put that in the middle, but we're gonna put the other colors around it. All right, so I'll leave my plate here so you can kind of see what I did with that. And for right now, we're just going to take our little L-shaped gadgets and our palm trees, and we're gonna set them aside because we're gonna work on our backer board first. Now, when we thought about this project, we wanted it to be a sunset. So you can always do whatever you want on your backer board, but when we thought about it, it was a sunset with a set of palm trees silhouetted in front of it. So in order to get my sunset, I need to swipe my paint from left to right. Okay, so I took my board and I turned it because I want to be able to start from one side and drag down to the other. Now I'm going to start with my yellow paint, and I'm just going to use my yellow sponge, the soft side of my yellow sponge. And I'm going to drag my sponge across and get my yellow paint on there. I'm gonna do this a couple of times because I wanna make sure that I get enough paint, because we are not gonna do this, we're not gonna put a second coat on. So we wanna make sure that we get our first coat on there really nice. All right, so you can see I only went down about, it's about a finger. So if I take my pinky finger and I measure how long my pinky finger is, that's about how far I went down. And I'm just gonna put one more coat on so it's in there really nice. And it doesn't matter how far you go down because we're just gonna overlap it a little bit anyway. Just make sure you're going from all the way from one side to the other. All right, so there's my yellow. Now I'm gonna grab orange, and I'm using the same sponge. You can see I just put it on that same sponge. All right, so I'm gonna turn my sponge so that my yellow paint is on my yellow, you see, and my orange is on the board. And I'm just gonna keep swiping until I'm blending that orange in. I'll grab a little more orange, and I'm gonna come down a little bit further with it. Just like that. How easy is that, right? Okay, now I'm going to grab red. So this time I'm gonna put my red on my sponge where my yellow was. So now I have orange on one side, red on the other. And I'm gonna take my orange side of my sponge and I'm gonna put it on my orange paint. And I'm gonna take the red and I'm gonna put the red on the board. And I'm gonna swipe. And I'm gonna load some more red. And you can see I just keep swiping so it blends those colors in. All right. Now I'm going to, okay, so right now I'm going to take and I'm going to mix together a little bit of, well, how do I want to do this? Okay, so we've got our sunset here, but now I want to start getting some blue in here because I want this to be water back here. So we've got the sun and it's going to meet the water, right? All right, so now I'm going to take my new sponge. You got 2 sponges. I'm going to take my new sponge and I'm going to grab my blue paint. And I'm going to put it just like this. Red on one side, blue on the other. I'm going to put my red down on my red and my blue down on the board. And I'm going to swipe. And I'm going to have to do it again. I'm going to grab more red, grab more blue, and put them on their colors and swipe. And then just keep swiping. So you blend that red into the blue. It makes like a purple. And you keep coming. Keep swiping just till it's blended. Okay. All right, now we're gonna take and we're gonna put more blue on our blue side. And we're just gonna keep swiping that blue in there. Now, if you wanted to lighten your colors up, you guys have learned this before. If you don't like these bright yellow, orange, red, you can use some white. We gave you white so you can lighten your colors up a little bit. All right, just like that. So now I've got my sunset. And I fade into my water. So now you can see where our palm trees are gonna go over top. Okay. So they're gonna have the water in the background, but my palm trees I'm gonna make all black because the palm trees are supposed to be a silhouette. But if you want to do your palm trees in color, you have all the colors that you need here to mix whatever color you want. So let's say that you want to make your palm tree leaves green. All you have to do is mix your blue and your yellow together to get your green. And if you want to make brown, you can combine blue and orange or purple and yellow. And to make purple, you're gonna mix red and blue, right? Okay, so this is what my backup board's gonna be. And now I'm going to do my palm trees. Now, I want my palm trees to be a silhouette. So mine are gonna be black. And I'm gonna take my white sponge with my black paint and I'm gonna pounce my black paint onto my palm trees. Now I will tell you that I might go back and lighten up my blue water because I'm not 100% sure how I'm gonna like my palm trees on it, but we're gonna see. We're gonna try it first. Now my palm trees will need 2 coats, but we gotta let the first one dry. So we're gonna get this first coat on and we're gonna hold it up against our backer board and we're gonna make sure that we like the way that our sunset looks. And if we don't, then we're gonna change our sunset to make it look the way that we want, so we're happy with it. And then we can put our second coat on our palms after it's dry. Okay, so here's my first coat. And we're gonna pull this down and we're gonna hold this onto it. Oops, let's get it so you can see it. Oh, guys, I actually really like that. Okay, we're gonna leave that, but we are gonna do one thing. Let's put some different color shades of blue in this water. So while we're waiting for our palm trees to dry, we're gonna take our sponge, our blue sponge, and we're gonna load it up with some blue, and we're gonna swipe that blue in there because we want it to be wet and our backer board's already dried. And I'm gonna grab a little bit of white, just a tiny bit of white. And I am going to just wipe in some white, just a tiny little bit. I'm not even gonna blend it all in. Kind of gonna leave some of those blue streaks in there, just like that. Kind of makes it look like the bright sunset is reflecting off of the blue water. Oh yeah, that's awesome. Okay. All right, let's set that aside. And we're gonna come back, and now we're gonna give this its second coat. All right, and there's our second coat on our palm trees. Okay, we're gonna let that dry. We are going to build our easel. Okay, so you just take your two L's here and you slide the two slots together. You gotta fit them down over top of each other, and it will get a little bit snug, but just keep pushing. And they will slide together. All right, once your pieces are both dry, we're gonna take our palm trees and we're gonna take our glue and we're gonna put a little bit of glue in the middle of the pieces. We don't want too much glue. We don't want puddles because it will squish out. If yours came in a different kind of tube, squeeze your glue out onto your paper plate and use the Q-tip that was in your kit to move the glue around, okay? So just use the Q-tip. All right, so you can see I don't have very much glue, just a tiny little bit. And then we're gonna put this right on our bottom of our sunset. And we're gonna press it down and we're gonna let it sit for 5 minutes. It takes 5 minutes for that glue to sit. Now I wanna show you, you see how I got some glue squishing out right there? Take the other end of your Q-tip and just kind of swipe in there to get glue out if that happens. That's why you only need a little bit of glue. Not very much. All right, and then you're gonna take your easel that you already put together and your palm tree. I can't show you because the camera's from overhead, but it will sit just like that, just like you saw in the opening, and I'll put another picture at the end of the video so you can see this. So now you have your sunset and your palm trees. Now, if you want to get extra fancy, let's see if I can show you how to do this. So what if we put some birds in the sky? I'm going to take my white wedge that I have, I'm going to take the wrong end, the other end that I didn't use, okay, so the skinny end, and I'm going to dip it in a little bit of my black paint. And let's practice on our table first, but I bet you, yeah. Okay, so to make a bird, you can, birds are just kind of like M's, like the capital letter M. And they don't have to be perfect. So let's do one over here. So now we got some birds in our sunset sky. I'm gonna do one more. It was just like a capital M. Just like that. Now we got some birds in our sunset sky. Oh, so cute, you guys. All right, and there you go. So there's your finished project. And you can prop that up on the easel. All right, well, thanks, Mini Makers. I hope this one was fun for you, learning to mix some new colors and learning to blend your colors together without using a whole bunch of sponges. All right, have a good one. We'll see you in a couple of months.